I stood in front of the Victorian-style house I'd grown up in, its familiar blue shutters and wraparound porch bathed in the warm glow of sunset. The property had seen better days, paint peeling at the corners, a few loose shingles, garden overgrown, but it still held that timeless charm that had first captured my heart decades ago. Funny how things work out. A month ago, I'd secretly purchased this house through my investment company. Now, I was here for what my mother called an important family dinner. The certified letter from her lawyer that arrived yesterday gave me a pretty good idea what to expect. I adjusted my blazer, smoothed down my skirt, and walked up the creaking steps. Through the front window, I could see them already gathered in the dining room: Mom, my younger sister Emily, and Emily's husband Mark. The perfect family picture, almost. The door opened before I could knock. "Catherine," Mom's voice was bright, practiced. "You made it." "Traffic was light," I said, stepping into the foyer. The familiar scent of lemon polish and Mom's signature pot roast wrapped around me like an old sweater. Emily barely looked up from her phone. "Hey, Cat." Mark at least stood to greet me, though his smile seemed strained. He knew what was coming too. I could see it in the way he kept glancing at the thick envelope on the sideboard. "Wine," Mom offered, already pouring without waiting for my response. Always the perfect hostess, even when preparing to drop a bomb. I accepted the glass but didn't drink. Instead, I watched her flutter around the dining room, adjusting plates that didn't need adjusting, straightening silverware that was already perfect. Classic displacement activity. She was nervous. "So," she finally said, taking her seat at the head of the table, "I suppose you're wondering why I called this dinner." Emily set down her phone. "Mom, we know. The lawyer called." Of course he did. Emily had always been kept in the loop, while I got my information through certified mail. Mom's hands trembled slightly as she reached for the envelope. "I've been thinking about this for a long time. About the future. About family legacy." I took a small sip of wine, letting the familiar scene play out. How many times had I sat at this table, listening to Mom praise Emily's potential while my own achievements were treated as expected? Just part of being the responsible one. "As you know," Mom continued, "your father left everything to me when he passed. The house, the savings, his investments." She paused, fingers tracing the envelope's edge. "I've decided it's time to put my own affairs in order. Here it comes. Everything goes to Emily." The words hung in the air like smoke. Emily's face lit up with practiced surprise, while Mark's shoulders relaxed visibly. They'd known, of course, probably helped plan it. "The house, the accounts, everything," Mom continued. "Catherine, you understand, don't you? You're so successful already. And Emily, well, she needs more security." I set down my wine glass carefully. "Everything goes to Emily," I repeated, keeping my voice neutral. "Including the house?" "Yes, of course." Mom's tone held that familiar note of dismissal. "You have your own place in the city. Emily's always loved this house. Loved it so much she hasn't helped maintain it in 15 years, I said quietly. Emily's head snapped up. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," I reached into my bag, "that someone had to do something before this place fell apart completely." I placed the property deed on the table, fresh ink, dated exactly 1 month ago. "What is this?" Mom's voice sharpened. "Property records," I said, sliding them closer to her. "You see, when the bank called about foreclosure, which they did 3 times, I realized something had to be done. So I bought the house, paid off the mortgage you'd taken out without telling anyone, fixed the property taxes you'd fallen behind on." The color drained from her face. "That's impossible. The house isn't for sale?" It was. The bank was quite clear about that. Funny how no one mentioned it to me directly. I had to find out through my real estate monitoring service. Emily grabbed the papers, eyes scanning frantically. "This has to be a mistake. Mom would never Never what, Emily? Never keep secrets? Never make financial decisions without consulting the family?" I leaned back, finally taking a proper sip of wine. "Like she never told you about the second mortgage, or the credit cards, or the investment scheme that ate up half of Dad's insurance money?" Mark's face had gone pale. "What investment scheme?" "Oh, you didn't know about that either?" "Last year, Mom got involved with some guaranteed return program, lost nearly $200,000 before I found out and shut it down. That was private." Mom's voice cracked like a whip. "Was it? Like the property taxes were private? The overdue utilities I've been quietly paying for 3 years?" Emily stood up so fast her chair toppled backward. "You're lying. Mom would have told me. Would she? When have you ever paid attention to anything beyond your next project?" Your next big break that always needs just a little more funding? Girls, please. Mom's hands were shaking harder now. This isn't how I wanted Dash. How you wanted what, Mom? To tell everyone how you're giving Emily a house you don't own anymore? To play favorite one last time? That's not fair. Emily's face had gone red. You've always been the successful one, the responsible one. You don't need anything. I stood slowly, smoothing my skirt again. You're right. I don't need anything. I never did. I worked for everything I have. But this house? This was Dad's legacy, and I wasn't about to let it be lost because no one else was paying attention. So what now? Mark's voice was quiet, practical. At least someone was thinking clearly. You're going to throw us out? No. I picked up my wine glass, finished it in one smooth motion. The house stays exactly as it is. You all keep living here, just like before. Only now, the bills will be paid on time, the repairs will be done properly, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start appreciating what it means to actually take care of something instead of just expecting it to be handed to you. Mom's face had crumpled. Catherine, please Dash. Save it. I gathered my things, tucked the property papers back into my bag. I have a meeting early tomorrow. You all enjoy your dinner. Oh, and Emily? The property tax bill is due next month, but don't worry, I've already scheduled the payment. I walked out of that dining room head high, heels clicking against the hardwood floors Dad had installed himself 20 years ago. Behind me, I could hear Emily's angry voice, Mom's softer protests, Mark's attempted mediation. But I didn't look back. The next morning, my assistant Claire buzzed my office. Your mother's called 4 times. Take messages. And your sister's in the lobby. I glanced at my watch, 9:15 a.m. How long has she been there? Since we opened at 8. She seems determined. I sighed. Give me 5 minutes, then send her up. I used those 5 minutes to center myself, to remember why I'd done what I did. It wasn't about revenge or power. It was about protection of the house, of Dad's memory, of the family's stability whether they understood it or not. Emily burst in like a storm, all flying hair and righteous indignation. You had no right. I had every right. I didn't stand from my desk. The house was going into foreclosure. Someone had to do something. You could have told us, warned us, like Mom warned me about the investment scheme, or the second mortgage, or any of the other financial disasters I've quietly fixed over the years. She paced my office like a caged animal. It's not the same thing. No? Then tell me, Emily, how much is the property tax? When was the last time the roof was inspected? What's the interest rate on Mom's credit cards? She stopped pacing. That's not my responsibility. No, it's been mine. 4 years. Every crisis, every shortfall, every temporary loan that never got repaid. I folded my hands on my desk. Did you know Mom hasn't made a mortgage payment in 8 months? That stopped her cold. What? 8 months. The bank called me, not her. Not you. Me, because somehow I'm listed as the emergency contact. They were planning to start foreclosure proceedings this month. But she never said. Of course not. Just like she never told you about the investment scheme that nearly wiped out Dad's insurance money. Just like she never mentioned the credit cards she maxed out funding your art gallery that lasted 3 months. Emily sank into one of my visitor chairs. I paid her back for that. Did you? All of it? Because the statements I saw showed otherwise. She stared at her hands. I meant to. Things got complicated. Things always get complicated with you, Emily. That's why Mom protects you, cushions you, hands you everything while expecting me to handle the real world. That's not fair. I've worked hard, Dash. At what? Your photography career that never took off? The gallery that failed? The lifestyle blog that lost money? Meanwhile, I built this company from nothing, created actual success, but that never mattered because you were the creative one, the one who needed support. Tears welled in her eyes. You think I don't know how much I've failed? How many times I've disappointed everyone? This isn't about your failures, Emily. It's about responsibility, about facing reality instead of waiting for the next rescue. So you bought the house to teach us a lesson? I bought the house to save it. The lesson is up to you. She wiped her eyes, smearing expensive mascara. What are you going to do? Charge us rent? Nothing changes. You all keep living there. I keep paying the bills, just like I have been. Only now it's official instead of secret. Why? If you're so tired of supporting us, why not just let it go? I stood, walked to the window overlooking the city I'd helped build, because that house is the last piece of Dad we have, because he worked his whole life to give us a home, and I won't let it be lost because Mom can't say no to you and you can't say no to yourself. The silence stretched between us, heavy with decades of unspoken truths. I never knew, she finally said, about the mortgage, the investment thing. I never knew. You never asked. I turned back to face her. You never had to. Someone else was always handling it. You were always handling it. Yes. She stood slowly, smoothing her designer dress, probably another credit card purchase. I should go, Moms, she's not handling this well. She'll adapt, she always does. At the door, Emily paused. For what it's worth, I'm sorry, not just about the house, about everything. I know. After she left, I sat at my desk for a long time, looking at the family photo I kept in the bottom drawer, Dad standing proud in front of the house, Mom beaming, Emily and me on either side. We looked happy, maybe we were. My phone buzzed, Mom again. This time, I picked up. Catherine? Her voice was small, uncertain. We need to talk. Yes, we do, but not about the house, that's done. I know, I found the bank notices, in Dad's old study. I should have told you. You should have told everyone, should have asked for help before it got this far. A long pause. I was ashamed. After that investment thing, I thought I could fix it myself. Some things can't be fixed alone, Mom, that's why family is supposed to work together. Like you did, buying the house in secret? I did what needed to be done, just like always. She sighed heavily. Your father would be proud of you. Would he? Or would he be disappointed that it came to this? Another pause. Both, maybe. He always said you were the strong one. Strong doesn't mean unlimited, Mom. I can't keep being the family safety net. I know. We'll do better. Emily's talking about getting a real job. Mark's looking at financial counseling. Good, because from now on, everything's documented. Every bill, every payment, every decision about the house. No more secrets. Understood. She took a shaky breath. Catherine, thank you for not letting us lose it. I did it for Dad, and for us, all of us. After hanging up, I pulled out the property deed again. Such a simple document to carry so much weight, but maybe that's what it took, something concrete, undeniable, to finally break through years of patterns. The next few weeks were a study in adjustment. Emily got a job at a local magazine, not her dream career, but steady work with actual pay. Mark started taking online courses in financial management. Mom was trying. I kept my word about documentation. Every bill, every repair cost, every decision about the house was recorded and shared. No more financial shadows to hide in. One Sunday afternoon, about a month after the dinner revelation, I stopped by the house to check on some roof repairs. Found Emily in the garden, actually weeding instead of just talking about her plans for an artistic landscape. Need help? I offered. She looked up, squinting against the sun. You know how to garden? Who do you think maintained this place while you were finding yourself in Europe? She sat back on her heels. There's a lot I don't know about you, isn't there? There's a lot you never asked. She pulled off her gardening gloves, new ones. Not the expensive designer ones she'd bought for her brief urban farming phase. I'm asking now. We spent the afternoon working side by side, pulling weeds, trimming bushes, rebuilding the flower beds Dad had loved so much. I taught her the names of plants, showed her how to tell weeds from wildflowers, explained the importance of proper mulching. You know what's weird? She said as we finished up. This is the first time I've felt like I'm actually taking care of something instead of just playing at it. That's what growing up feels like. She threw a clump of grass at me, says the one who was born grown up. Not born, chosen. She sobered. Yeah, I'm starting to understand that. Mom called us in for dinner, actually cooked by her, not delivered or prepared by the housekeeper she could no longer afford. We sat at the same table where everything had exploded a month ago, but the atmosphere was different. I've been going through Dad's study, Mom said as she passed the potatoes, found all the original house papers, the improvements he planned, the maintenance schedules. I have copies, I said, been following them for years. Of course you have, she smiled slightly. He showed you, didn't he? All the things he never bothered to show me because you had Emily to focus on. Emily looked up sharply, but there was understanding in her eyes now instead of defensiveness. I'm sorry, Mom said quietly, for not seeing, for not acknowledging. I know. I reached for the rolls, the ones she'd actually baked herself, slightly lopsided but trying. But from now on, we all see everything. Deal? Deal, Emily said firmly. Mom nodded. Deal. Later, walking around the property in the growing dusk, I found myself on the back porch, Dad's favorite spot. He used to sit out here in the evenings, planning improvements, dreaming about the house's future. I got it, Dad, I whispered to the gathering shadows. It's safe now, we all are. A month later, I received 3 envelopes at my office. The first was from Emily, a copy of her first real paycheck, along with a detailed budget she'd worked out with Mark. At the bottom, she'd written, "Teaching me about the garden wasn't just about plants, was it?" The second was from Mom, bank statements showing she'd closed all but one credit card, along with a receipt for her first session with a financial advisor. Her note read, "Your father kept everything, every receipt, every bill, every record, now I understand why." The third was from the bank, confirmation that all the house's paperwork was fully transferred to my name, everything clear and official, no more shadows, no more secrets. I pinned all 3 to my office wall, right next to the property deed. Reminders that sometimes the hardest thing to protect isn't a house or a legacy, but the people you love from their own worst habits. That evening, I drove by the house on my way home. The garden was blooming again, the repairs were holding, and through the windows I could see my family gathered in the kitchen actually cooking together instead of just talking about it. Real change takes time. Real growth isn't always pretty, but sometimes, all it takes is one person willing to stand firm, to say the hard truths, to protect what matters even when it hurts. I am that person, always have been. But now, finally, I'm not alone in it. What do you think about Catherine's story? Was she right to buy the house secretly, or should she have warned her family first? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to follow for more stories about family, responsibility, and the courage to face hard truths.